Hi, welcome to the quiz. You can answer along on quizalto.com, all for free. The exact URL of this quiz will be in the notes down below. Let's get started. Good luck. What is the benefit of using elastic load balancing in conjunction with auto-scaling? Increases latency. Requires manual intervention for scaling. Automatically adjusts the number of instances in response to changing traffic patterns. Limits scalability. Elastic load balancing, when used in conjunction with auto-scaling, automatically adjusts the number of instances in response to changing traffic patterns, ensuring optimal performance and resource utilization based on demand. What feature of elastic load balancing allows you to handle sudden spikes in traffic without manual intervention? Auto restart. Manual load balancing. Load balancer scheduler. Auto scaling. Auto-scaling is a feature of elastic load balancing that automatically adjusts the number of instances in response to changing traffic patterns, allowing you to handle sudden spikes in traffic. What is the significance of configuring DNS failover with an elastic load balancer? Improving network performance. Automatically routing traffic to healthy resources in case of failure. Encrypting data in transit. Automating server backup processes. Configuring DNS failover with an elastic load balancer allows automatically rerouting traffic to healthy resources in case of failure, providing high availability and ensuring uninterrupted service for users. Why would a user enable the sticky session feature on an elastic load balancer? To reduce network latency. To compress data before transmitting. To route the same client's requests to the same target. To automatically manage database connections. Enabling the sticky session feature on an elastic load balancer allows routing the same client's requests to the same target, ensuring session persistence for applications that require it. What is an advantage of using elastic load balancing with HTTPS listeners? Monitoring network bandwidth. Reducing server response times. Encrypting data in transit. Compressing data before transmission. Using elastic load balancing with HTTPS listeners allows for encrypting data in transit using SSL/TLS, ensuring secure communication between clients and the load balancer. What is the main advantage of using an elastic load balancer with AWS CloudWatch metrics? Maintaining user access control. Monitoring and tracking performance metrics. Optimizing network bandwidth. Automatically updating software packages. Integrating elastic load balancers with AWS CloudWatch metrics allows for monitoring and tracking performance metrics, providing insights into the health and performance of the load balancer. How does elastic load balancing help in reducing latency for incoming requests? By increasing manual intervention for scaling. By limiting available instances. By encrypting data in transit. By distributing traffic efficiently across multiple targets. Elastic load balancing helps in reducing latency for incoming requests by efficiently distributing traffic across multiple targets, such as EC2 instances, ensuring that requests are handled quickly and with minimal delays. Why would a user configure access logs with a classic load balancer? To improve network latency. To track requests and diagnose unhealthy instances. To automate server deployments. To encrypt data at rest. Configuring access logs with a classic load balancer allows for tracking requests and diagnosing unhealthy instances, helping with troubleshooting and monitoring the load balancer performance. What is the purpose of a load balancer in elastic load balancing? Distributes incoming application traffic across multiple targets. Manages instance types. Increases response times. Requires manual intervention for scaling. A load balancer in elastic load balancing distributes incoming application traffic across multiple targets, such as EC2 instances, ensuring optimal performance, fault tolerance, and scalability. What is the key benefit of utilizing gateway load balancers with resource-based policies? Fine-grained access control for load balancer resources. Optimizing storage costs. Automated deployment of code updates. Enhanced network throughput. Utilizing gateway load balancers with resource-based policies allows for fine-grained access control over load balancer resources, specifying permissions at both the load balancer and target group levels for more granular security. What is the benefit of using elastic load balancing with AWS Lambda for serverless applications? Requires manual intervention for scaling. Limits scalability. Increases latency. Automatically triggers Lambda functions based on traffic patterns. Elastic load balancing can be used with AWS Lambda for serverless applications, automatically triggering Lambda functions based on traffic patterns, ensuring that compute resources are available to handle incoming requests efficiently. What is the purpose of a target group in elastic load balancing? Increases latency. Manages network access control. Optimizes database queries. Routes requests to registered targets. A target group in elastic load balancing routes requests to registered targets, such as EC2 instances or containers, based on the configured protocol and port, helping to efficiently distribute incoming traffic. What is the purpose of health checks in elastic load balancing? Encrypt data in transit. Ensure that only healthy targets receive traffic. Increase response time. Reduce throughput. Health checks in elastic load balancing are used to ensure that only healthy targets receive traffic, helping to maintain the availability and reliability of the application. What is the purpose of setting up an SSL certificate with an elastic load balancer? To encrypt data in transit. To optimize server response times. To compress data before transmitting. To manage access control policies. Setting up an SSL certificate with an elastic load balancer allows for encrypting data in transit, ensuring secure communication between clients and the load balancer. What is the key benefit of using a network load balancer over other types of elastic load balancers? Stronger encryption. More features. Lower cost. Extremely high performance. A network load balancer offers extremely high performance and operates at the connection level, making it ideal for latency-sensitive applications. What is the purpose of enabling deletion protection on an elastic load balancer? Preventing accidental deletion of load balancer resources. Optimizing CPU performance. Increasing the durability of data. Consolidating multiple applications on one load balancer. Enabling deletion protection on an elastic load balancer helps prevent accidental deletion of load balancer resources, ensuring the availability and integrity of the load balancer configuration. What is the primary benefit of using elastic load balancing with IPv6 support? Automating database backups. Expanding the network address space. Enabling cross-region replication. Reducing storage costs. Leveraging elastic load balancing with IPv6 support allows expanding the network address space and accommodating the growing number of internet-connected devices using IPv6. What is a disadvantage of using a classic load balancer compared to an application load balancer? More complex configuration. Higher cost. Limited support for content-based routing. Lower availability. A disadvantage of using a classic load balancer compared to an application load balancer is the limited support for content-based routing, as classic load balancers route traffic based on TCP/SSL ports. What is the primary function of a load balancer's listener configuration? Optimizing user authentication processes. Automating code deployments. Reducing SQL database queries. Defining the protocol and port used for client connections. The listener configuration of a load balancer defines the protocol and port used for client connections, enabling the load balancer to route requests appropriately based on the specified settings. How does the network load balancer in elastic load balancing differ from the application load balancer? Supports content-based routing. Requires manual configuration for TLS/SSL. Only supports HTTP traffic. Operates at the connection level. The network load balancer in elastic load balancing operates at the connection level, making it ideal for handling sudden and volatile workloads with high request rates. What type of load balancer in elastic load balancing is best suited for microservices architectures and container-based applications? Application load balancer. Classic load balancer. Docker load balancer. Network load balancer. The application load balancer in elastic load balancing is best suited for microservices architectures and container-based applications, providing advanced routing capabilities and support for target groups. Why would a user configure a load balancer target group with weighted targets? To increase the server response times. To manage IAM user permissions. To rotate SSL certificates automatically. To adjust the traffic distribution based on configured weights. Configuring a load balancer target group with weighted targets allows adjusting the traffic distribution based on the configured weights, providing flexibility to control the distribution of traffic among different targets for optimal performance. What is the purpose of configuring an idle connection timeout with elastic load balancing? Encrypting data in transit. Enabling cross-zone load balancing. Closing connections after a specified period of inactivity. Increasing the read capacity of the load balancer. Configuring an idle connection timeout with elastic load balancing involves closing connections after a specified period of inactivity, helping manage resource usage and maintaining efficient performance. How can a user configure cross-zone load balancing for an elastic load balancer? Update the security group rules. Change the instance type. Enable the feature in the load balancer settings. Adjust the subnet configurations. Configuring cross-zone load balancing for an elastic load balancer involves enabling the feature in the load balancer settings, which allows distributing traffic evenly across all registered instances in all enabled availability zones. What is the primary purpose of configuring a security policy with an elastic load balancer? Restricting user access to the load balancer. Defining the SSL/TLS protocols and ciphers the load balancer uses. Optimizing network bandwidth. Increasing CPU performance for load balancing. Configuring a security policy with an elastic load balancer involves defining the SSL/TLS protocols and ciphers the load balancer uses, ensuring secure communication and compliance with security best practices. And that's a wrap. Thanks to everyone who participated. Remember, you can answer along on quizalto.com, where you can keep track of your progress and find much more quizzes. We hope you had a fun and challenging time. Until next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more. Hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as we upload. Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts or suggestions, and if you think this video is worth sharing with someone who could benefit from it, please forward a link to them. See you next time. Thanks for watching.